spinning. What are the steps to get a caregiver through the Medicaid LTSS program? Now, look, if that's your only question, stick around to the end, and I definitely gonna be able to answer that one for you. All right. What's up? We back. It's the dynamic duo,
Yes.
Director Ivy and Mr. KC. How y'all?
Yes. What's up? What's up? What's up? Good afternoon, live stream family. We are happy to be in a place today, ready to give y'all some good tips and tricks on how to come on and be a caregiver because we know you're already out there being one. Everybody is a caregiver for somebody. So, yeah, if you
Miss,
want to know the steps,
missing piece though. Get paid. Get them paid. They already caregivers.
yeah, absolutely. So, why not get paid for it?
Get paid. Absolutely. So my name is Kion Church. You know what I mean? A lot of people like to call me Mr. KC. They say it sounds a lot easier. Whatever you got to do to make it roll off your tongue, just know I'm the Delaware Medicaid expert around here. You know what I mean? Now, this lady right here, she is the director to the stars, literally, because that's what our team is called, the stars team.
Yes, yes, yes.
Her name is Director Ivy. She's nice enough to get on here and bless us with some inside expert information. And
Yes.
it is what it is. And look, if y'all with me, man, if y'all calling me on the phone 302-689-3240, make sure you tune in because we here. We not on the phone right now. Y'all gotta tune in.
Yes.
All right.
Absolutely. It's the only way to get us. That's the only way to get us.
Well, guess what? I just found out we can call or text. So I don't care if you're a client, if you want to be a client, if you a caregiver, if you want to be a caregiver, you can text the office now 302-689-3240 and express your needs. How about that?
Nice. We like it. We like it. I'm telling you, we're here to make things simplistic for y'all. How to
That's right.
get in, how to reach us, how to get the information it is, that you need. We just want to be able to support you in any, endeavor possibility. So
Mhm.
absolutely, absolutely.
As far as the caregiver, I kind of like break it down into like three pieces, like because I'm the caregiver, not the caregiver. I'm sorry. As far as the client, I kind of break it down into like three pieces, and I need a caregiver. How do I get a caregiver through Medicaid, through the LTSS process? Uh, I'm gonna just throw it out there how I do it, how I tell the people, and I'm gonna let you talk about it because your twist on everything is on point, simplistic, and you got a good way of saying stuff. So I'm gonna let you talk to the people today. Is that cool with you?
Absolutely, that's cool. That's cool. I love talking to everybody. I love y'all to talk to me. So hashtag live, hashtag rebroadcast.
That's right.
We want to hear what you have to say. So throw the questions out there, up there. I'm here to answer them and give y'all all some good advice.
Right. And if y'all watching this on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, violate that share button, like all that, do everything that you got to do. Make sure that you on with us, you know what I mean? And if you subscribe, it'll let you know when Director Ivy going live with you. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Tune in for me.
Ah. And again, you never know when I'm tuning in.
That's
Sometimes, everybody's not the 12, 1 o'clock people. Some people might be getting up late, y'all might be night owls. So, I come on and be a night owl with y'all. We in this together. Absolutely, absolutely. So,
so
Mr. KC, you're a caregiver, huh?
yeah. I'm a caregiver
Okay,
by
okay.
trade. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Roberto Brown Sr. hashtag live. What's up, brother, man? Where you watching the show from, man? You know what I mean? Let us know. Man.
Yeah.
Hashtag live, hashtag rebroadcast. Where you watching this at? Are you a caregiver? Or are you a client? You know what I mean? How's it going down for you in your life? You know,
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, I too am, a caregiver, and we all know being a caregiver, is not not an easy task. We've been caregivers. If you're a parent, you was a caregiver, now you may be, taking care of your parents, so the roles have reversed.
Yeah.
Me, I'm taking care of a sibling, right now. So, we are all caregivers in our own right.
Mhm.
But when you had, like, even like you said in some other broadcasts, you've had to stop work and, do some other things and switch the game up, because, family first, right? But at the end of the day, we all still got bills,
I remember.
so.
I remember. Look, funny story. I remember my baby mom said, "Look, man, you might have to move in around there." And I said, "You crazy? I'm around there every day. Why would I have to move in?" She's like, "Yo, you need to like you." She was like, "Look, I ain't telling you, but you might need to rethink it."
Mhm.
I'm here every day. I probably left for like an hour a day, but that hour a day was really like 2 months, and I'm like, "Yo, I'm really have to move it." Like, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So true
yeah.
story.
Because so many things can happen in an hour's time. You
Mhm,
know,
mhm.
what your loved one could
Yeah,
do last week
yeah.
doesn't mean that they can do it this week. What they could do yesterday doesn't mean that they can do it today.
And guess what? It's always gonna happen on that 1 hour when you're not there.
That part. Yeah, like, oh my gosh. And now, we beating ourselves up and,
The last
we got
4
all
days.
this extra stuff. So,
Yeah,
yeah, and it's important when you realizing that you're a caregiver and you understand the role it is that you have to play and
right.
you recognize, wow, I'm really going to have to do this, full time. It's an aha moment, but it's always important that you remain in a reality mindset. Don't, take this lightly. Don't think, oh, my parents can do more than they think they can, or my grandmother or whoever it is. We have children taking care of parents. We have parents taking care of children, on our
Hey,
service. So, but it definitely starts in the mind, because you have to get your mind really ready physically, and mentally for it, because not everybody's cut out to be a caregiver, but sometimes we got to put our big girl panties and our big boy drawers on, and we got to step up and we got to do it, whether we like it or not, because that's just what it is. So,
yeah.
and once you get over that hurdle, yeah, it's you're gonna have good days and bad days, but it's definitely all gonna be doable.
This guy Ravonzo Brown said it's pastor. Now listen, man, we know who you are. Calm down, man.
We ask him because you
From
out here. Oh, you're from
Delaware.
Delaware. Okay.
We didn't know that. We did not know that though. We didn't know. Did you know that? Did you know that?
Yeah, I do now.
Oh, you
Yes.
do now. Okay,
Yes.
that's a secret. We know now. But listen, the whole West Philly gonna be in an uproar, and it's not my fault. You know what I'm saying? Hey, because I mean, the number one representative just moved to Delaware, so I ain't.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining, Pastor. Absolutely. We always, welcome, the support of, the community, here, there, and everywhere. So, we just here to help everybody.
Now he got scared. He said, "No, I'm from Philly. I live in Delaware." Yeah, they was gonna get you too. That's why you.
You had to clarify, had to clean that one up.
Okay, so
Yes.
the first step that I tell people to get a caregiver, who need a caregiver, who need a paid caregiver, because paid spells reliable. in 99% of the time, paid spells reliable. I don't know if you still with me. We got the black screen going on, but I'm gonna break it down to y'all while I'm here. Either way, when she pop back up, we're gonna go back to the two screen. So listen, if you got a paid caregiver, that equals reliability. So what you really want in this thing is a paid caregiver. You want somebody reliable. You want somebody who's going to come through when you need them. And unfortunately, you know, I be at the house, and unless I pay a joker, sometimes it ain't going to happen because everybody got their own life. You know what I mean? You can't really be mad at that because people got their own things going on. So what we really want to do is incentivize the person who's working with you to be a caregiver. And how we going to do that? We're going to put the paycheck in their pocket. All we got to do is put the paycheck in their pocket, and now it's a blessing for them to be able to come through and see you. See, we're gonna flip the script on it. You know what I mean? That's what you gotta do. You gotta that thing. You gotta turn it around every now and then. You know what I mean? So it's going to be a benefit now because they coming to get paid. They was already coming to see you, but now they can come there and get a paycheck. So the first step to getting into the program, doctor recommendation. All right. Doctor got to definitely recommend you into getting into this program. If you're in Medicaid and you don't have a case manager, what you need to get the case manager is you need to be in a program. You need to be in the LTSS program, long-term care. I don't care what state you in, wherever you from. If you live in the continental 50, or if you live in the 50, they ain't got to be stuck together. If you live in the 50, then Medicaid is the same everywhere. All right. So I was just telling the people that the first thing to get a reliable caregiver, aka a paid caregiver, is for you to have your doctor recommending you that you need to be in the program. Am I right
Yes.
with that?
Yes, absolutely. And I apologize. I had some technical difficulties, over here. My mic and my screen went out, but I'm back.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yes, but yeah, absolutely. That is the first thing, and don't be afraid to talk to your doctor.
Hmm.
Don't be afraid to say, hey, I can't do what I used to do, anymore. But it definitely starts with a doctor recommendation.
Right, 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 right. And absolutely. And the thing I tell people with the doctor, just make sure you're going to see him. Because if you're going to
Hmm.
see him, he's gonna know your needs. You know what I mean? So when the people call around there, because they're gonna call me, they're gonna get a case man, they're gonna try to get a case manager. But before they do that, they're gonna call me and they're gonna say, KC, I need you to get me a caregiver. All right, I got you. I'm in Medicaid. I say, what's your case manager number? Oh, I don't know. I don't got no case. Okay, well, you're gonna have to go to the doctor, put this
Hmm.
referral, you know. Oh, but I ain't been. Listen, go there, pay him his $10, $20, $5. I don't know
Hmm.
what the pay is.
Hmm.
Pay the dude off, and now you his best friend. He gonna get you whatever you need.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And doctors have been, they're getting better and better, even with understanding the needs, of, their patients. And they're getting people more and more into the long-term care program, just for that added support,
Mhm.
because sometimes, we can, you know, prevent some things,
Yes,
if we, put a little
yes,
something in place, beforehand,
yes, 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 yes. An ounce of prevention is worth more than a
worth a
pound.
pound of cure.
So
Absolutely.
they definitely were putting the resources out in the beginning. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
yeah, absolutely,
Yep.
absolutely. So pay your copays. Go see your doctor, pay your copays, and speak up when you need something.
Hmm. Yeah, we can't fix a problem when we don't know they exist. And
Absolutely.
even, you have a caregiver in mind, we know that it starts with the doctor recommendation and then it goes over to, let's talk about which insurance you have, which long-term care Medicaid, you know, um, do you have? Do you have Delaware First? Do you have Highmark Health Options or do you have AmeriHealth Caritas? you know get informed, get to know your insurance companies, and then give them a call. If you don't have a case manager, hey, you know who's my case manager? Think most times if you don't have a case manager, it's a good chance that you're not in the long-term care Medicaid portion of Medicaid. You could have Medicaid, but you're probably not in the LTSS program. So that would make a difference. But we have some very instrumental people, that can even help walk you through that process and get you going.
Yes, we do. We got a bunch of people now. Remember, I was the only person that could do that.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yes, yes, yes,
ain't
yes.
gonna lie, that's still like my special secret job. You know,
Hmm. Hmm.
people
Hmm.
still call me. You know what I mean? Yo, man, you say, yeah, man. I say, look, man, just text me your mom or your dad name and their date of birth, and I don't even need nothing else, man. I call my cousin over there. He let us know what's going on. You know what
There we
I'm
go. There
saying?
we go. You see, he got the inside connect. He man.
Absolutely.
So yeah, yeah, and then we follow back up, because it's important, most times with Medicaid, you know, every now and again, depending on who you get on the phone, they could kind of make you jump through some hoops and some other things,
Absolutely.
but we can kind of help fast track you, through that. And at the same time, while we working over here on that part, we also working over here on the other side. If you have a family caregiver, we want to get them rocking and rolling, as well. Knowing that they have to do, the fingerprinting and the background check and the two-step PPD, and we got to get references,
I got to do all that.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
it's a real job.
yeah, absolutely.
Paycheck
It
job.
is a real job.
Paycheck job.
Yeah, paycheck job, taxes job, all that kind of job. Yeah, it's a real job.
You ever hear
And
that commercial in Philly where they like, yo, if you got a real job, a paycheck job, you come to the
right,
car.
yeah,
I keep
you
telling people,
know,
you don't got no car. They be like, I don't got no job. You don't got no job. We got jobs. Paycheck
yeah.
job. Real job.
Absolutely pay, and keep in mind that because we getting paid through the state, you already know the state is making you do all of that.
Yeah.
There used to be some flexibility years ago, but unfortunately, there are some people in the world that don't, always operate in good faith,
Mm.
have made it a little bit more challenging, for the agencies, themselves. So yeah, we got to go through all of that, but it's not a bad thing,
Listen,
but
I
we can
tell
do those things simultaneously.
I tell people don't have no fear though. If your jacket is messy and you're taking care of your mama and she like you, we like you.
That part.
Don't be
Yeah, if you like it, I love it. Now we might
scared.
not be able to hire you to go out there to see Mr. Smith,
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah, you home with mama? Absolutely, absolutely.
Everybody deserve a
Let's
paycheck,
do it.
especially if you home with your mama. You
Hmm.
deserve a paycheck.
Now, what I will say though, because one of the things we run into, especially in the office, is people get it twisted. Your parents get it twisted, you get it twisted, your sister gets it twisted. We are here as your employer, if you're the direct care worker, and we are here as the agency if you are the client. We do not mix the two. So we cannot tell your daughter that you got to, she's got to give you half the paycheck because you let her be, your caregiver. It does not work like that. If you feel as though your son, your daughter, or whoever your caregiver is, if they're not doing an adequate job, then we need to find you somebody else,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but
And guess what? People always ask me, and I say that's the difference between direct care and self care. Listen,
mhm,
you talk to my pop, he be on a chair like this, man. Listen, I ain't got
yeah,
look. You know what I mean? I don't
mhm,
handle none of that. If the aide don't act right, look, he gonna talk to the people up top.
right,
He ain't
yeah,
gonna he got to go through all this with the people, no matter who they are.
yeah, absolutely,
Yeah, if you
absolutely,
directed care Craigslist person, you do that in your own time. You know what I mean? If you want
yep,
somebody to handle the business for you effectively, it's on.
yeah, yeah,
And I don't
yeah.
care if it's your son and he not coming to work. He's out of here. We firing him.
That's right. Absolutely. Because that's our name on the line.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're not falsifying no documents. We
No,
ain't approving something that didn't go down. If you wasn't there, you wasn't there.
he wasn't there, homie.
And you also have to realize that this shouldn't be a job that you feel like, you want to, try to skate around and do the bare minimum, and still get a paycheck. This is your mom, this is your dad, this is your loved one, that we talking about. So you should want to do a stellar job, for them, whether you're getting paid or not. But it's the bonus
Yeah,
part
whether
that
you
you
get
are
it
getting
or
paid,
not, right? But we know what
but
to do. But yeah,
we have people that come out, we have our quality coordinators, wellness comes out. So, we do spot checks, because we want to know. Because sometimes, I've seen it, parents and the kids and whoever the two family member and the direct care worker, they be in cahoots with some stuff. You might be, don't let us know about it because we not about that life,
nothing to do with that.
but
Right.
we want to help everybody, but we still got to do things in decency and order. I know that's right. you
Hmm.
know Hashtag live, hashtag rebroadcast. We want to know who's out there. Let us know.
Jeanette Austin says, "Hi, Jeanette from Delaware. Can you be a caregiver for more than one person at the same time?"
Not at the same, hi, Miss Jeanette from Delaware. Not at the same time, but you can be a caregiver for more than one person. If you have, you could be a family caregiver and you might see, your family member from 8 to 12, but we could have a client somewhere else that needs services, from 1 to 5, so if it's, in your area, your availability, then, absolutely, absolutely. Can't see them at the same time because that's double dipping and you can't be two places at one time, you
Daycare.
know.
We do home care. You
Right.
got to be at the person's home.
That part.
That's your question. What if it was mom and dad and we all live at the same place? Now what?
No, you still can't, because you can't be taking care of mom and dad
At
at the
the
same
same
time.
right.
You can't have one hand over here and one hand over here. It don't work like that.
Right.
So, but yeah, you could see mom and dad, and you could break it up.
Right. Uh-oh. we gotta put in the fund, man, so we can get this lady internet bill paid. So look, got what she's saying. First, I kind of slipped on a question, you know what I mean? But then I thought about it. She right. Can't get paid for two people at the same time, but at the same time, it's 24 hours in a day. So even if you put in 8 hours in the, you might have three family members in there. You put in 8 hours 3 times a day, maybe in there. I mean, it'd be hard not to take care of three people and not to get no sleep. But you know what I'm saying? Now look, man, if y'all see me on the internet, don't call me while I'm on the phone. You know what I mean? Now you might could text me 302-689-3240, but don't call me while I'm on the internet. All right. Because I'm trying
I'm
to get
saying the same thing. I'm saying the same thing.
they just called me. Was they calling you too?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Like, I got nothing. I got nothing.
Yeah. 302-689-3240. 302-689-3240. Call that number, talk to somebody else, or text us. They'll give us the message while we on the line. You know what I mean? You got a question,
Absolutely.
whatever you need. But while we
Yeah.
here, we need y'all be here, man. Don't be calling me on the
There we go. Yeah.
phone. Right though, right though. So okay. The third part to this thing is really like my most favorite part. This is really the part that I think I would excel at the most. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's called the interview. Last part of the
Mm.
puzzle. You know what I mean? You got your doctor recommendation already out the way. They already. Oh, did we do the financial eligibility? We didn't do that yet.
No,
We got to do step two. See, man, you coming in and out of my life so much right now, I can't even keep up. You know what I mean? You gotta.
y'all don't listen to Mr. Casey's foolery.
Look, I was just ranking on you. I just told the people we gonna put in a fund for her internet so she can stay connected.
That's these people calling me. I'm gonna have to maybe I have to put myself on D&D or something so it doesn't even ring through. I don't know, but
That's so
I'm
good.
here.
So good. Destiny Singleton said hashtag live. What's up, Des? How you?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. We appreciate it. Thank you for joining.
All right. Hashtag live. How y'all
All right,
doing?
all right, all right.
Part of
So
the
what's the
team.
question, Mr. Casey?
What is up with the financial eligibility? What could you tell me about that? That's the second piece. The first piece is doctor recommendation. The second piece is financial eligibility. What could you tell me about what's a good tip or a trick to skate through that?
Hmm. Well, the people that, pay us all have their own tips and tricks. So,
You 100% right about that. You want me to give you a good one? I mean,
yeah.
I told you this one. Listen, check this out. Put your own self. If you out there listening to me, y'all can hear my voice. Put yourself in the the footprints of the client. All right, you got Medicaid, right? You need to get into the LTSS program, right? Which is a Medicaid program, right? You ain't got to be scared. They already know how much money you make.
Hmm.
Yo, I swear to God, people like, oh, it's all in my business. I don't
Hmm.
want to know my business. Listen, dog, you already getting Medicaid. They already know everything.
Yeah.
I be like, look, man, go to your phone, screenshot the first page of your bank account. They already know how much you got in there.
Hmm.
Number one,
Yeah.
because they wouldn't be giving you money if they didn't already know what time it is. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
You lying and you got to work that out later down the line. But guess what? They know everything.
Yeah. Now, if you're new, if you're trying to get Medicaid, then and if you make too much, they do help you. It's called a spin down. You know what I mean? Because there is a maximum amount, that you can make and still
Correct.
qualify, even just to have traditional Medicaid,
Correct.
but they'll help you, with that too. But you don't have to give up everything. You don't have to move out of your house. You don't have to go into a nursing home. It is a lot of, scary things out there that make people feel like that, but it is not. You just need help. You just need support,
Right,
and navigating through that stuff.
right, 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 right. Who is that Atri? Is Miss Atri watching? If you are, and I didn't know who you was, we apologize because we love you. That's our Spanish liaison. I don't know if you know her. She be on every Tuesday and Thursday. You know her?
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Hashtag Miss
Oh
Atry.
yes, oh
Absolutely.
yeah.
Hmm.
It's been down. Yeah, she said, yeah, that's her.
Yes, 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 yes. Yeah, we appreciate our team being on and supporting us,
Mhm.
We have an excellent team. We really, really do. So, high five to all of our stars out there, whether you're in the community, working from home today. I know different parts of the area got some precipitation going on.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. How does it look down there where you at?
I'm still in Pittsburgh, and it's not,
Oh,
they got some snow on the ground, but
that's right.
nothing real major.
Nothing made.
It's pretty light,
Okay.
ain't nothing to shovel,
Mm,
I'll say.
right,
Hmm.
right, right.
Yeah.
We got a little shoveling stuff going on over here.
Mm. But of course, we want everybody to be safe no matter where you are,
Yeah,
and if you do have some health concerns, it may not be the best option, for you to be out there, shoveling and doing things, safety first, get somebody else out there, make a phone call or two. Somebody got to be able to come out and help you, you know.
safety first.
Absolutely.
You don't want
Absolutely.
you don't
Absolutely.
have a big one on a snow day neither. Ah,
Yes, yes, yes.
hashtag live if you with us in the live. Hashtag rebroadcast if you with us in the rebroadcast. Let me know where you watching this thing from. Let me know Mary J in the building. Let me know blue shirt. Whatever you got,
Yes.
hashtag it up.
Hashtag it up. We love you guys. I'm sure y'all know, our mission is, we help financially challenged, family members become paid caregivers. But guess what? You don't even have to be financially challenged. You know what I mean? Because, some people, we've even talked to people and they've said, well, I don't want to check, you
Money,
know? Or, I had a lady was like, I can't, this is gonna,
they
I
need to
can't
take
do
care
this or I
of
can't
my
do
mom.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and absolutely. And you know what I told them? Well, it's great that you don't need the money. Not everybody is in that
Yeah.
situation,
Go ahead.
but it's so then
Pay you.
take the check and put it into an account for your parent or your loved one,
Yeah.
whoever it is,
Do whatever you do. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I always thought that
Absolutely.
was funny.
Hmm.
You paid.
But
Mom.
once they start getting that check, they like
Oh,
it.
yeah, they don't complain that. And that be prior too. Usually that's me trying to get them signed up. Oh, I don't want to do that. I can get paid to take care of my mom. All right.
Hmm.
Let me sign you up and you donate the check. Yeah, because I don't need
Yeah, straight up. Yeah, yeah, we coming up with we're gonna have a nonprofit soon. So, go on and donate it to the nonprofit.
yeah. Mm, mm, mm. We got a guy.
Absolutely, absolutely. What other question you got for me, Mr. Casey?
Got a guy named Keenan Seth 4627. He keep asking the same question, man. He asked like 9 times. I'm getting to you, man. Director Ivy's a little busy right now. You gotta wait and calm down. See, that's why I don't know if it's a good idea for you to be on here by yourself.
I need you to help facilitate and manage that. What
Nah,
question can I answer for
our
Mr.
big homie.
Keenan Seth?
This is our big homie from Texas. What's the biggest challenge far as getting into the LTSS program?
Mm, I think first off, knowing that you're even eligible, and then, getting in contact, knowing who your case manager is to get the referral. The doctor thing is pretty easy, but you got to get in connection with your MCO so that they can get the referral over, to us, because sometimes, clients and or caregivers, they call in and they get the ball rolling. We halfway through the process, but we cannot step into your home if we have not gotten the referral and the authorization from your insurance company. So even if you're ready, as a caregiver, you've done everything, the background check, you've done everything, you ready to get started, and your loved one is ready to get started. But yeah, until we have that referral and that authorization, we got nothing.
I'm gonna tell you what I think the biggest challenge is when getting into the program. I think it's when y'all call these bum companies and they don't know what they're doing. They tell you go to this service center and fill out an application, and then 9 months later you call me and you're like, "Yo, I filled the application out last summer and I ain't heard nothing yet." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, who told you to do that?" I'm like, "You watch me on the internet every day and you still call somebody else." And then that person dropped the ball and you be like, "Well, what should I do?" Listen, you want to fast
So
track it.
maybe the biggest challenge should be getting with the right
Right.
agency in the beginning.
There you go. There you go. There you go. Hey man, I mean, I don't know. It's up to you, man. You can roll with the rock, be down with the winner, or you can try with the mother dudes. How many and I don't want to be talking trash. How many people have you met since I've known you? We've been doing this, and they told you I put an application in 6 months or more ago, and I don't know.
Mhm. Yeah, quite a few. We've had people that come from, holiday agencies and other, stating, that, I've been on service and I haven't even gotten a paycheck yet. I've been, taking care of my loved one, 30, 45 days and I haven't gotten a paycheck yet. So, we've had people to leave and go to other agencies and then call me and say, Director Ivy, I apologize. I should have never left. I don't know what I was thinking. I've had a few of those as well.
Yeah,
Sometimes people think the grass is greener on the other side, whether it's,
yeah,
monetary, thinking you don't have, less trainings to do or less certifications to get done. So and we don't hold anybody hostage,
right.
so I tell them, hey, absolutely.
Go
And,
check them out.
when they call, I welcome them back with loving arms, but our goal is to get it right the first time.
But listen, you more than welcome to bang your head on the wall with them dudes.
That part. Yeah. I'm not going to give you an ice pack, for that bruise, but I'm going to welcome you on back. I'm going to let you go ahead and handle that one because, that was a self-inflicted wound
Self-inflicted.
unnecessarily,
Yes, 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 absolutely. Third and
Mhm.
final part, the interview. We done already the doc already said I would benefit from being in the program. Um they already verified my income once again. Now they just want to talk to me. What do you say to these people?
You tell them it's important that you answer the questions accurately, but you need to consider answering the questions as if you had a really bad day, as if you're having a really bad day, because how you answer the questions can to determine how many hours you get approved for. So, if they catch you on today and, but today wasn't, today was a good day for you and you're up and you're moving and, you were able to get yourself washed and dressed, then yeah, they may say, oh, you only need about 10 hours a week, but tomorrow and the next day, you can't get out of bed, so you can't base the questions off of how you are in that physical state that day because realistically that is not how you are every day, so you have to answer the questions how you are more so than you are less.
Absolutely. And the number one tip I'm gonna just throw out there is write it down because
Mhm,
they gonna gloss by it. You know what I mean? They gonna gloss
mhm,
by certain questions because they don't really care no way. They want
mhm,
you to be like, hold on a second, you know what I mean? That was just what we
mhm.
did today.
Right.
We got a whole week worth of stuff, especially if you like my pop and he go to dialysis 3 days a week and got three appointments on the 2 days that
Opposite days he's not in dialysis. Yeah.
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 So
You need to say, and it's important that your caregiver, your direct care worker, the person you're going to have their support, is there during the interview process. Because too, they'll be like, oh no, don't forget, you can't do this, or I do this for you, or I do that, for you. So yeah, have that support person, right there with you during the interview process, because then, if you forgetting something, yeah, they can help you, or, sometimes, because as the client, we don't always like to admit that we're not as independent as we used to be, or
Right.
that we'd like to be. So it's, oh yeah, no, I can do that. I can do that. But your caregiver sees you every day, and you can't make it up to two, 3 steps without, huffing and puffing. You may be able to get up the steps, but how long does it take you to get
Hello.
there? And how many times do you have to stop in between
Yeah.
that? There's a
That
big difference with that.
that was my mom. Well, I could do it. Yeah, you can do it. It's gonna take you 12 hours when I could have just
Yes.
up there in 15 minutes though. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, you can do it. I don't need
Yes.
nobody. Yes, you do. You know you need somebody. And you better
Right.
stop telling these people you don't need nobody. That's what you
That part. Yeah. So, allowing them to be transparent. But the thing is, giving them that sense of security, because especially if it's our parents, they already feel like, oh, I'm being a burden. I don't want them to have to do, this, that, or the third. So it's our job, to make them feel comfortable, to help them to see and understand that it's okay that, I gotta, help you get, washed and dressed now. It's okay that, I have to give you a little bit of support when, you're on your way to use the bathroom, make them feel comfortable, because that too can help your everyday, your day to day, go a lot smoother, but when you giving that, man, you got to go to the bathroom again. We just went,
yeah. Yeah.
type of thing, that part, no. And guess what? If you're, with reliable aid, you have a care plan that you have to follow, really with any agency. But, we talking about us because, you coming to us. But, you got a care plan. So, yeah. And if the care
Well,
plan
you have to
says
be playing
take
with it.
them people to the bathroom, it doesn't say how many times you take them to the bathroom. It just says take them to the bathroom. So if that's what you're doing all day long, then that's what you're doing all day long. But you never want your client, to feel that frustration, and you really shouldn't have any, but if you do, you call the office, because that's why we do trainings. That's why we have wellness. You can call and talk to these people, because again, the caregivers need help too. They need support, as well. So we have people in place to help you guys, but, don't take that out on the client. Don't allow the client to feel that. That is not good.
Mhm. And I think that goes if the client is your parent or not your parent. Because
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
you can treat everybody like you want to
Yeah.
be. Some people,
Absolutely.
oh man, that's my mom. Man, you can't be acting crazy because that's your mom.
And it's all the more reason for you not to act crazy, because that's your mom.
Yeah, come on, man.
you know
Zena said, "Hi, Director NKC. Hey, Miss
Hey,
Zena, how you
Ms.
doing?
Zena, nice to see you today. Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining.
Thanks.
Yeah, all of our team has been a caregiver, and or is still being, a caregiver. So, shout out to the stars. We can't do it without y'all.
Atri said we like money. I like money. Yeah,
Yes, that is, that could be a great incentive, but when you're a
yeah.
caregiver, that can't be the primary incentive,
Well,
because
yeah. We reward you with the money,
yes.
and we really only looking for people that already are doing it. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? We looking for people like ourselves. You know what I mean? Like I
Yep,
was already doing it. I was struggling. I would
absolutely.
love somebody throwing me a lifeline. Yo, man, take
Mhm.
that. Are you doing the right thing?
Yep.
Word, okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So if you out here scheming, then y'all go with the holiday animal company.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah. Everything ain't for everybody. I
yeah,
always say all clients ain't good clients,
yeah.
all caregivers ain't good caregivers, and all money ain't good money.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Because they can keep it. We ain't down for that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Any other questions for Director Ivy over here?
I don't know if we got any other questions. Let's see. Hmm. Mr. Seth says, once your loved one is in the program, who determines how much care they need?
The case manager. So the case manager has to come out and do a physical assessment. We also, as an agency, come out and do an assessment. So don't be like, oh, somebody was just out here. They do their assessments for them, for their side, and we do our own, assessment. But the case manager determines how much care your loved one gets. That's why it's important that your loved one answer the questions correctly in its entirety, and that the caregiver is there to support in that conversation, because, I don't know, the case managers, they may be there, anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour if it's the very first one, because they got a whole cheat sheet, a whole line of questions, to go through. So, you just want to make sure that, you're accurate in your answers. So, yeah. So the case manager is always a good, like Mr. Casey tells you, you want to see the doctor because the doctor's your friend. The case manager can also be your good friend.
And just to underline that word care, how much care they need. He really saying how many hours they going.
Hours. Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
How much
Yeah.
time is going to be dedicated to the care?
Right.
Right. Yeah. Case
And they
manager.
have like it's a grid, kind of like, so based on how you answer the questions, determines how much care, how many hours, you're approved. So, yeah.
That was a good question. That was real slick way he worded that. How much care they need? Like, what do you mean how much care they need? They need all the care in the world.
Absolutely, because it ain't never too much care for our people, right? Yeah, we want them to have all the hours. Now,
Right.
keep in mind, if your loved one is bedbound and they can't really get up and do hardly anything, for themselves, I've never ever seen anybody that gets 24-hour care. At that point, you definitely out of the scope of a PASA, personal assistance service agency, which is who we are. It will probably be more on some skilled line of care, but yeah. And you don't have to do the hours, 9 to 5. Here, if your loved one is a night owl, then yeah, we'll schedule, your services. So, as a caregiver, you might see them 11 p to 7 a, so this is not a cookie cutter position. This is not cookie cutter hours. It's not banker hours. We create, individualized care plans tailored to the needs of your client.
Mhm.
Now, if your client says, I want somebody at night, and you say, well, I'm ready to go to bed at 11 o'clock, then, you're not the caregiver for them, because you don't get to dictate that. It's about the client, so
Right.
understand that too.
Right. And if the client says they no longer want you, then guess what? You're out.
We got nothing. We
Let's
got
just throw
nothing.
that out there right now.
Yeah, we appreciate you. You appreciate your support, but yeah, you got to go.
Yeah, that's been the topic of our.
Yeah. And I tell the clients, if I'm going out there and I'm doing the assessment, I'm letting them know right there, because transparency is crucial, and I let them know if you're not doing a good job, then, yeah, we're going to get them somebody else. We're not going to have anybody in an unsafe situation, an unhealthy situation, when our quality coordinators and wellness, when they go out there, do their assessments and things, I follow up. What did the house look like? Because sometimes, they may clean up, just because somebody's coming.
Mhm.
No, that house is supposed to always be clean, because that's part of the reason what you're getting compensated for. That is on a care plan. And we need to make sure that you're adhering, to the care plan, because that's doing what's in the best interest, of your loved one.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Hashtag this was a good show. Hashtag whatever you want. Let us know about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, we love feedback.
Hashtag
Absolutely.
Marissa Shields banged that girl out last night. Was she drop her in the six? You see that joint?
No, I did not.
Oh yeah,
I
you
was
got
around here being a caregiver.
okay. Yeah, you gotta watch that when you get a chance.
Okay. Okay.
Definitely a good one for Black History Month 2026.
Awesome. 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 Awesome.
You got any jewels you want to give the people while we on here? We got you.
Mm, I don't know. You just might have to tune in tomorrow. I don't
Okay,
know.
coming back.
If I give you a little something, something on Monday, you might not tune in Tuesday or Wednesday.
That's the other people. That's not us. We gonna be here. That's the other people. We gonna
But I
definitely.
will say, you don't have to be afraid, with any part of this process. We are here for you guys. It can be overwhelming, it can be challenging, especially if you've never really did it before, and even you as a caregiver are realizing, wow, this is reality. Like, I really got to take care of my mom. I really got to take care of my dad. I wasn't ready for it, you know but we are here to help you get ready, and stay ready, so we got y'all's back. We got y'all's back. So we ain't gonna drop you. We ain't gonna drop it like it's hot.
That's right. Shout out to all the green juice drinkers. Got up, made my green juice this morning.
Well, all right. Yeah, I haven't gotten down with well, I don't do the juicing personally,
Mhm.
but that is something healthy, that getting into, so shout out, I do like the kale and the,
That's what
you
it is.
know
Kale and
okay.
berries. That's it.
Yeah. Hmm.
Kale and the berry mix. That's it. A little
Okay.
bit.
Yeah. Well, you can make some for me too then.
All right, I'll hook you up. I'll hook you up. You mail it to you. I
Yeah,
can,
well, I'll actually be I'll be rolling back around, sooner or later. I'll keep you posted. So, you could just bring it to me personally.
all right. I saw your aunt at the supermarket yesterday, right?
Hmm.
Um she wasn't at, I can't remember her name. She wasn't at our last party, but she was at the party before that.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Right.
Hmm.
So I said, you know, they had a birthday party in there the other day. I said, why you wasn't there? She said, they don't invite me. I said, man, they don't invite me because they want me to pay for the food. I said, they called me 5 minutes. I said, look, man, we having a party. Why don't you come on down? Oh yeah, bring a couple pieces. We already got it ordered. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my goodness. She was out seeing a client, so she wouldn't have been able to attend
Right.
anyway. That is funny.
Yeah,
That is
I said, you
funny.
know, we love you. Somebody else was like, y'all always celebrate. I said, man, look, we have a good time. We got good staff. We got good people. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
We
Yeah.
always, you know,
Yeah, yeah, we love
great.
celebrating people, we text the clients, we text the caregivers on their
Yeah,
birthday,
yeah. We got
you
massive
know.
group chats from like way back. If you've been around with us for years,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It is important, to celebrate one another, and we're not just celebrating one another, we're celebrating life.
right?
Because y'all know, everybody, well, if you don't know, I am a spiritual being, and I do believe in my Lord and Savior, and everybody didn't wake up,
That's right.
today. Everybody did, you know what I mean? So they didn't know, everybody didn't wake up with the activities of their limbs and in their right state of mind, so yeah, we want to celebrate everyone,
Everyone.
everyone. God
Yep.
forbid, the Lord calls people home. We attend the services. I send flowers on behalf of the agency.
And that's what I was gonna say, because we like, why y'all do so many birthday? Because my birthday coming and I want everybody to be at my joint. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna
Yeah,
be everybody else. You know what I mean? But that's how we do it. That's how
yeah,
we do it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. We just had a loss. We just had a loss over the weekend.
Yeah.
So
Sorry to hear that.
but we always, we keep the families in prayer. Wellness continues to follow them. They give
Yeah.
them calls, they make visits, because it just doesn't stop, and we always hear that even when we go to funerals and things, most
Mhm.
times, the service is over, everybody else goes back, to their normal life. And,
Mhm.
the person that just lost their loved one, is still grieving, and they got that hole in that void, and we don't stop.
Mhm. Mhm.
We continue to support people. We continue to call them. We continue to check in because they still need, that love. And as the caregiver, you still on payroll, so you
Yeah.
even still have the opportunity, to support
Yeah.
another client,
Yeah. How about that? How
if
about
it works out. So yeah, the love doesn't stop. Situations and circumstances change, but the love and our mission and, our desire to make a difference in the community does not stop.
Mhm. Oh, I want to give a special shout out to our sponsor, DNR Construction, my boy Roland. He do the best work in the city. If y'all need something, get at him. Put it right in the comment. I'm gonna make sure he know. You know,
All right.
that's what
All
it is.
right. Hashtag DNR construction.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So y'all watching this, make sure y'all subscribe. You know what I mean? We come on, y'all can boom, get the email, the notification, be right with us. You know what I mean?
Yes,
It's
yes,
going
yes,
down.
yes.
It's going
That's
down.
right. Remember, you can text us now, 302-689-3240. You know, you
That's
don't always have to call. You know, you can send us a text. You know, we got people here, there, and everywhere. Somebody gonna get back to you, you
ain't that
know?
crazy how technology, like I can text the business, like I can text you like, yo, can I get a caregiver? I'm not even a client.
Wow, that's
Crazy.
awesome. That's awesome.
I mean, just the
Yeah.
thought of
Mhm. Yeah. Because we definitely we couldn't even do that last year, last
that.
month.
Right. Wow.
But you know, but we are here to make things as simplistic as
Right.
possible. You know,
Yeah,
that's
that
why,
another
you know, we
spot.
even have these, you know,
Yeah,
these lives, you know, because we just want to
other
let y'all
companies
know.
ain't doing
Yeah.
that. They ain't doing that. You can't text them and say, hey, can I get a caregiver?
Yeah. And expect somebody to reply back to you,
Yeah.
you know, but you know, we ain't the average agency. There is nothing about us, from the people in the office to the people in the streets, you know, to the people behind the scenes. There is nothing average about us.
Hey, let me ask you a question. I heard that you was going to be able to help people in Sussex County real soon. Is that true?
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Yeah, onward and upward. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we're here to be, you know, we're going to be ready to, you know, service Sussex County, and you know, just be able to service more people, you know, bring the love and the joy and, you know, all these tools and the golden nuggets, that we have, to a broader base, community. So yeah, we are definitely looking forward to that.
I know the
Hey, who's out there being reliable? All right, Miss Karen Reed Samuels,
look, Mr.
absolutely.
Ivy and Mr. KC out here being reliable is this weather.
Yes, 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 yes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, I had calls with all my team today, and just checking in on everybody, and everybody's doing well.
Okay.
Excited to be in
Okay.
the number. Excited
Well, it looks
to
like
support somebody else, being selfless and not selfish. Because
right.
when we're selfless, we're giving to others. God is giving to us. God is pouring into us. God is blessing us. God is healing us. God is shielding us, from some things. Sometimes people think it's all about the money, you know what I mean? But it's not. It's so much more, than that.
Yes.
We want to get paid, for what it is that we do. And we want to be paid well, for what it is we do. But there are certain things that you cannot put a price tag on, no matter how much money you're making, But, we are here. We are a holistic agency, and we're concerned about everything, you know. So
I ain't want to bust you up, but you kind of sound crazy because the connection is wild. But we got everything you said. You just in a whole different voice, though. Oh, went all the way out on us now. I can't hear you at all. But don't worry about that because we gonna end it anyway. We love you. Now listen, even though you can't talk, you already promised that you would be here tomorrow. So we gonna hold you to that. You know what I mean? And Miss Karen said, yay, I'm here to serve and be reliable in Sussex. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for that. We can't understand what you're saying, but it's all good. I'm gonna take them out. I'm gonna take them out. That's how we do it. You know what I mean? Listen, we're glad that y'all stopped by today. Call, text, get it correct. Do what you got to do. 302-689-3240. 302-689-3240. We love y'all. I think you back now. Can we hear you? Can you hear me? Oh man. It ain't working. It ain't working. I'm gonna mute your mic. Don't worry about it. Look, we'll be here tomorrow. And that's all it is. That's all it is. So talk to y'all soon. Make sure y'all subscribe, share, like, do the thing on this thing. All right. Peace.